what have we done? We spent a lot of time building that store, and we thought, are we going to have to still do craft fairs because nobody's here? Because we had been doing
Deborah is the owner of Hawaiian Bath and Body and North Shore Soap Factory. I got to sit down with her on location at the factory on the North Shore. And in our conversation, I got to learn more about the history of the factory as a sugar mill and what it's operating currently as their soap factory. So stay tuned. Let's get into this. Cue the intro.
Aloha, welcome to Hawaii's Best Podcast. Learn the stories behind Hawaii's best experiences, influencers, and businesses. Discover everything that makes Hawaii the Aloha State. And now your host, Bryan Murphy.
Shakabra.
Aloha and Shakabra. That's our little one, Abby. She's 3 right now, and I couldn't help but leave that in. Hey, welcome to Hawaii's Best. You got episode 9. And on this episode, we get to hear the history, the story, and the vision behind North Shore Soap Factory and Hawaiian Bath and Body. This was a fun conversation I got to have with Deborah, and I think you're going to find value in it as well, and just hearing the history behind the factory. So before we get into the conversation, if you're new here, hit subscribe, drop a comment, let us know how you're feeling about the show. That just helps other people who love Hawaii be able to find Hawaii's best. So right now, let's head on over and talk story with Deborah. Deborah, thanks for joining us today in Hawaii's Best. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how the soap factory came to be.
Soap factory came to be more from my business partner than from me. I wasn't a bake cookies and sell it on the corner kind of a kid. So his vision was always the soap factory.
Yeah.
That he learned how to make soap from a friend. And then the friend left, and we loved the soap so much that we wanted to continue doing the soap.
Oh, I see.
And so that's how we started this whole handcrafted thing. We bought all of his ingredients and inventory and took over the soap making.
So when was that?
That was in 2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys been around for a little while.
For a little while.
Yeah.
And it was the years before that.
Yeah.
My husband at the time they were making equipment together. So he was learning how to make soap as he was helping his friend get into this soap making.
Okay.
So then when we took it over, we just expanded on it. And so my idea of, I'm going to make something and sell it. Wow.
Yeah.
Was very different than his, we're going to build this thing and we're going to sell it all. And so really it was his vision.
So growing up, there wasn't necessarily like this entrepreneurial drive.
There was not.
Or bone.
Sorry to say. There was no like, she lived her dream. No, there wasn't that. But it was really fun to actually go to a craft fair and sell something that you make. Was really amazing. And that was new for me as a grown woman.
So is that kind of how it started, going to these craft fairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we started at the Sunset Beach Farmers Market, which is still going on.
Yeah.
And from there, we got on the craft fair circuit, if you will.
Okay.
Once you get on one, then you get, we're having a craft fair at this high school, at this park, at this place. And so you get on and you go to these different craft fairs. And we were doing that every weekend. Often he would go to one and I'd go to another. And so it was a lot. I mean, for a long time, for like 7 years, that was our sole source of income.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Of doing craft fairs, yeah.
And your role here?
I'm the co-founder, co-owner.
Okay.
And overseer, I guess.
Yeah.
I have an amazing general manager, so she makes everything happen.
Okay.
And I do the marketing, a lot of the social media. I get to meet people and schmooze and hobnob and stuff. I get to do the fun stuff. Oh, I have to go to a lunch meeting today.
Right.
Oh, I have to. So I do that. He's still very much involved. So we've been able to step back a bit and let the business run itself after 15 years of building it.
Yeah.
We have an amazing crew that can run it for us.
So how many people are currently employed?
There's 10 of us.
Awesome. So the North Shore Soap Factory is in this old sugar mill. Can you share a little bit about that history and with?
Absolutely. We lived just down the street.
Okay.
And we were making soap out of our home. And it got to be, it wasn't a home anymore. Really, the house was our first soap factory.
Gotcha.
And you could see this place from our house and thought that would be, that's the place where we'll have a lot of room to grow.
Right.
So we were able to lease the building and start making soap here. So this is where North Shore Soap Factory grew from. What we were making out of our home was Hawaiian Bath and Body. But what we did here, this was the old bagasse bin. So this was one of the buildings of the Waialua Sugar Mill.
Right.
And when the sugar mill closed production, like 1996-ish, it was a few years later that all the buildings started being rented out for different things. We rented this building and started creating this North Shore Soap Factory. In the midst of that, the neighbors would come, people in the neighborhood. What are you doing? This was the stinky, sticky, nasty. This was the compost bin, basically. This is where the waste of all the sugar mill was housed.
Interesting. Yeah.
Then they'd come in and see that it was cleared out of all the bagasse, that it was, the floor was chipped up and painted, and we had built this little store. There was air conditioning. Yeah. And little by little, the people would come and give us things that they found in their tutu's house or in their uncle's carport. And so the little ode to Plantation Days, our little museum, grew organically out of the people in the neighborhood. But being in this building and having so much history is so much a part of what the North Shore Soap Factory is. We're able to tell the story of Plantation Days. We have so many people that come and bring tutu or bring uncle because they want to come home. And they come in and they tell stories about, my husband worked here, or my dad or my family member worked in the sugar mill. And then they look at the different, memorabilia. I don't like to call it artifacts because there's still people that are living this. Right. The memorabilia that we have, the different, the log books, everything was done by hand. There was no computer entry. It was all done by hand. And we have a lot of the log books. And often the families will come in and see their name in the book. I remember there was this one woman, she was brought to tears because she saw her dad's name, and he worked every single day, and it's logged in like 14 hours, and like for 30 days straight. And she's like, I had no idea. I just knew dad wasn't around. Right. And he worked. That family tie is so beautiful. And to share that, to be able to share that again, because we're just putting it out there for people to come and see, some for the first time, some as a memory to bring their family together. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. And you see that as you walk in. Each time I come here, I look at some of those history pieces and read some of those letters. Yeah. And what's cool is you guys have utilized this space in such a loving way. Like you've paid respect to what its original purpose was, but also you've have this really cool news story in this place.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be connected to an era where, and when we were cleaning this place up, there were places where the electrical bands, everything is like meticulously detailed and put away and finished. It's a whole other mentality, a whole different era of how people work today. Right. Everything was, done by hand. The tools that they used to build the sugar mill, they forged their own tools. So if they didn't have a tool, they would make it.
Figured it out.
And so here we are now making soap from scratch, making skincare from scratch. In my head, there's a symmetry there. Yeah. And it's nice to have that connectivity with the history.
You mentioned something earlier, Hawaiian Bath and Body and Hawaiian Bath and Body. Maybe you can help clarify.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a funny little dance that we do. When we made soap out of our home and went to the craft fairs, we were, and we still are, Hawaiian Bath and Body.
Got it.
So that's our skincare line, our handcrafted soaps and skincare is Hawaiian Bath and Body. Now, when we got this building and we were trying to market, come to our store and putting signs out that said Hawaiian Bath and Body, no one took the bait. So in Jerry's, my business partner, in his guerrilla marketing, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to go out there and do this. I don't know. We're the soap factory. People are going to want to come to a factory and see what's happening there, especially if the guy's driving the rental car and he's like, okay, I can do that. I'm not going to go to some Bath and Body place.
Exactly.
No, we're going to the factory. And he was spot on. He just had his finger on the pulse. So the signs went out as North Shore Soap Factory, and that's when people started to trickle in.
Okay.
So North Shore Soap Factory was born. So that was the name of our store. And then a few years later, we incorporated and, getting a little more grown up in our, moving from craft fair to like a legitimate business. We became the North Shore Soap Factory, Inc., DBA, Hawaiian Bath and Body.
Got it.
So we have the two brands. The store, the destination where you can come visit and see soap being made, is North Shore
Makes
Soap
sense.
Factory.
Yeah.
What we make and what you can purchase is Hawaiian Bath and Body soaps and skincare.
And the DBA, doing business as, is your Hawaiian.
Is the Hawaiian Bath and Body.
Got
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say people love most about the factory or the skincare line? Or
it smells great.
Oh, it
they
smells
walk
great.
in and they don't care what it's called. They don't care, what the brand is. Like, it smells so good in here.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing that keeps them coming back to either the store or to buy soap.
Yeah, your full line is available online as well.
Yes,
and you have both English version and Japanese version as well.
We do. Yeah, and that's the next phase of the facelift. Okay. We're going to go from, like, we have our English Hawaiian bathbody.com with the little Japanese flag.
Right.
Which when you click on that, it takes you to the whole separate website. What's going to happen soon is it's just going to flip the descriptions into kanji.
Oh, cool.
So everything will stay the same.
Yeah.
It'll just be translated into Japanese.
Okay.
So we don't have to maintain two separate websites.
Right.
And it'll all be uniform and all look the same. And I'm really excited about that.
So, I mean, that was kind of what I was going to ask next, is a little bit like, what's next? And obviously this is a huge kind of, I think, a streamlined, simplifying, but also it would help your customers as well navigate better.
Yeah. On social media, and even in print, I always have to think about who I am and what's my message. Mm-hmm. So we've been partnered with Hanaho since the very beginning. They wrote our very first story that said, come on down to the soap factory and buy soaps in the boutique when there was no boutique. Yeah. So Jerry had to build the store in like 2 weeks because the article was landing August 1st.
Details.
And every single, seat pocket of everywhere Hawaiian flew. And I was like, oh my God, which is a whole other story. That Sunday, which will be 15 years come August 1st.
Okay, yeah.
That Sunday, nobody showed up. We opened our doors. We're like, oh my God, Hawaiian Airlines. Oh no.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Yeah.
There was nobody here. Except my one friend, Kate. She came. Like, oh my God, what have we done?
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Kate. So in the Hanaho, that's a dedicated ad to people who are sitting there wondering what we want to do when we go to Hawaii, right? They have hours to look through this magazine. So we're the North Shore Soap Factory in that magazine. Because come on down, see soap being made, take a tour, buy soap. There's another magazine out at Ko'olina. I believe it's called Hale. Okay. And it's just for Ko'olina. We are Hawaiian Bath and Body in that magazine. And it's a product shop. And you can buy it here in Ko'olina and you can buy it in all these other places. So with the two brands, and I have to do the little dance when it's marketing. Like today we can talk about both because it's fun. But when it's like, I need an ad for this, like, okay, what kind of magazine? Who am I? What is my message? Oh, that's going to be Soap Factory. Or, sell the product that's going to be Hawaiian Bath and Body.
Are you guys on the mainland at all as far as in
not
stores?
in stores.
Okay.
We'll have like a spa here, a boutique there,
right.
but not like we don't have a distributor. We're not in Whole Foods across the Southern Pacific region.
Is that something like down the road you're maybe hoping would love to?
Would be nice.
Tip your toe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, be open to that.
Whole Foods, I'm not sure now with Amazon, but Whole Foods has always been pro-local. So here in Hawaii, in all of their stores, we're a local brand. If we went to, say, any of their LA stores or San Francisco, any of their California stores, we're not a local brand there.
Right.
But we're not a national brand either.
Right.
So we don't really fit the bill. They'll purchase from a local soap maker or they'll support that person.
Right.
Instead of bringing some Hawaiian brand over and say, this is a local brand. Like, no, we make soap here.
Yeah.
So in that's really nice. They really support their local vendors. But that makes it a little bit more difficult for us to get into the mainland market. We'll see.
So it's smart that you're streamlining some of your processing and systems now.
Yes.
Who knows?
Who knows? We're getting our ducks in a row.
Exactly. Yeah. Pun intended.
Yeah. Exactly. All of our little rubber duckies. All in a row.
Yeah. Man, when my girls come, they always got to get one or two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
That moment where Oahu featured you and everyone's flying over here and you're thinking, okay, and then Kate shows up in that moment, because right now it's cool to talk about expanding and like what's next. But like in that moment, what was going through your mind?
What have we done? We spent a lot of time building that store and we thought, are we going to have to still do craft fairs because nobody's here? Because we had been doing craft fairs for a long time, we continued for just a little bit longer and told everyone, hey, we're not going to be here next month. Because it was like the craft fairs are monthly, so you're on the schedule. We're not going to be here. Come down to the soap factory. We're now opened in the Wailua Sugar Mill. So we had a base for our clientele, which was really nice, our local residents. And then it was relationship building to bring the buses in. So that took a couple of years before we even got the buses to come full of, Japanese customers. And now we have a really strong Japanese clientele, hence the Japanese website.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But that was years in relationship building. But it was tough. It's like, did we do the right thing? Should we have just kept it at craft fairs?
Sure.
Oh my gosh. But that was in August.
Yeah.
And by the time the holidays rolled around, it was just enough to like, oh yeah, we're going to go there for the holidays. Okay. And it just rolled from there.
Yeah.
And it's been rolling ever since. So we've been really, really fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone's coming, maybe just in general, is coming to the islands, maybe for the first time or coming back, in your opinion, living here, what are some things for someone who's coming for a visit to consider or just to know that would help their trip?
To come to the soap factory.
There you go.
Come to the North Shore Soap Factory. Make sure you get some lip balm.
Yeah.
And make sure you get some kukui oil because you will get sunburned. Some things to think about, to be mindful. And I think anytime you travel, you want to be mindful of whether it's a big city or a small town, the different cultures. And I think that's really important. We're such a melting pot here in Hawaii. I think people forget that. And they're just going to come and we're going to play at the beach and ooh, a rainbow and yay. and they forget that we live here every day. So, mind the speed limit and the traffic. I think when people are on vacation, they forget that they know how to read and they forget to tell time. They don't know what day it is. It's like, it could be Wednesday and I need to get to my appointment. But for them, it's like, whatever. I'm like, keep driving. Just keep driving. And I get it. You're on holiday in this beautiful place. And some people, they save their whole lives to come to Hawaii. It's a dream vacation. I get that.
Yeah, sure.
I get that. It's funny you asked that. I think for the most part, people don't get or don't read the telephone book anymore. I don't think my kids even know what the yellow pages were or are. Do they even come to your door anymore? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I haven't seen one.
But inside the Hawaiian Tel phone book, in the first few pages, there was this list. And not only civil defense or, in case of an emergency for hurricanes and things like that, but it was, shaka, when you say hello or, let someone make the left turn.
Right.
Stop. So things like that.
Yeah.
That, in LA, you can sit there for hours and not be able to make your left turn because then you have to make the red light, because you're the one and only car that makes it. But here you stop. You let people go in front of you. Yeah. You don't honk your horn. You take your slippers off. You leave the beaches better than when you went. And I think that's whether you go hiking, whether you go to the park, and that's what I teach my kids. You leave a place better than when you came. So things like that. So I think that all just be mindful. Yeah. Cross at the crosswalk, not in the middle of Cam Highway. And it's not Turtle Beach. That's Lonnie's. It's not Turtle Beach. I think just being mindful, no matter where you go. Yeah. When you travel, kind of blend in with.
Sure. Yeah.
If you go to New York, wear your black boots.
Right.
If you come here, wear your black slippers,
Yeah. If you're in LA, you drive 20 miles over the speed limit and you use your horn.
Yeah. And people expect that. Like, I didn't know you were there. You didn't honk at me. Yeah. How should I know?
Yeah. It's funny is each time, I'll get back to LAX and it's like, you get on that first on-ramp and it's like, you got to be on.
You go.
You go, I'm back. This is.
Right. If you miss your Sepulveda exit, you're going to, done. You're done. Scary.
I pulled off in Watts one. Well, that's a whole other story. So, Deborah, thanks again for your time. And how can people find more information about you guys and what you're up to?
Thank you, Ryan. We are in the Go North Shore website. So that's the North Shore Chamber of Commerce. And of course, our own website, northshoresoapfactory.com. That's a big one. You can always purchase our products on hawaiianbathbody.com. You can see us all over social media, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, with either North Shore Soap Factory or Hawaiian Bath and Body. Got 6, 7, 8 websites that I'm juggling. Yeah, you can find us. You can find us all over. Yeah, when you Google North Shore Soap Factory, boom,
there you are.
We are there. Yeah, so I hope you guys come down. We have tours. You can watch Jonathan making soap through the windows, stamp your soap. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, again, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to hearing and seeing more about what's next with Hawaiian Bath and Body and North Shore Soap Factory.
It's a mouthful. I know.
There you go.
I know.
Well, thanks again.
That's good. Thank you. Thanks for reaching out. That was a lot of fun.
You got it. I just want to thank Deborah again for her time and hospitality and for showing us around the factory. If you're coming to Oahu, you're going to want to make sure you check out the factory on the North Shore. Such a cool place, such a cool vibe. Personally, anytime my family and I are up on the North Shore, we stop by the factory and we make sure that we pick up a couple rubber duckies for the girls and obviously some soap for everybody else. So we'll be sure to leave the Soap Factory and Hawaiian Bath and Body and their contact info in the show notes so you can be able to find them. Until next time, be well. Aloha.
Thanks for listening to Hawaii's Best Podcast. To stay up to date on future episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at hawaiis.best.